Alright, everyone. I wanted to make a discussion video, and the reason why is I've been having this thought for a little while, but I want to make this video, get your guys' opinions, and we'll just go from there. And keep in mind, I've been collecting for over 10 years now. Even before I started doing YouTube. But, of course, my collection isn't as big as some other people on YouTube, I will say. Um, but it's not entirely small either. The average person would look at this. Say like I take a girl home here and she sees this stuff here. It's like, holy crap, look at all this stuff you got here. So the average person would look at all this like, holy crap, you have a lot of gaming stuff. So to the average person, yes. To some other people, they would say, oh, this is pretty small. But this is more of a discussion to you guys. When is it time to trim your collection down? When is it time to reevaluate what you're buying for and just strictly concentrate on the things that has real meaning? And the reason why I say that is the whole point, I think, of collecting stuff is that it has personal meaning towards you. Okay? Say, like, when it comes to Sonic. When I was growing up, I was a big Sega fan. And, everything about Sonic I loved. That's why I have Sonic and Tails. But I was also big on Nintendo. I was a bigger Sega fan than Nintendo back in the day. But, it's more like 55% Sega and the rest was like Nintendo. But when it comes to actual gaming stuff, I mean, when is it really time to trim the fat here? And the reason why I've been thinking about this is that, I've been looking at all this stuff, and I'll be honest with you, they've been just collecting dust. And the reason why I've been thinking about this, apart from most of the stuff just collecting dust, and I've been looking at them, it's like, wouldn't other people out there enjoy them more? I mean, it's not that I didn't enjoy these at all. I'm not saying that. It's just I got my use out of them. I think that's really the best way to put it. Is that, when it comes to the Sega Saturn, the Sega Saturn was a great console, had great games for it, but I played it and I really got my use out of it. The 3DO, for example. It was a good system. I got my money's worth out of this system here. But, I put the time I wanted to put into it, and I essentially moved on. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at here is that most of the stuff I have, I really don't have a desire to go back and play it. Now, something I did say earlier this year was I was going to try to start making videos, edit them, do voiceover work for it, and put it out on YouTube. I tried doing that. The problem is that I did not realize just how much time it actually took. I mean, here's the thing: I have an actual job, outside of, I'm gonna say this is that I am a YouTube partner. I get a small check every couple months from YouTube. And I'll just say this, it's nowhere enough to support myself. Okay. But, so that's why I have a regular job to help pay bills. So what I'm trying to get at here is that I don't have time to play these. And the few times I do have to play them, they are connected there. So the Wii U, PS4, and my Atari Jaguar. So they are actually connected, and I do have a setup that when I do want to do recordings and voiceover stuff, I just press a button behind it and I have to power cycle the surround sound system because, the copy protection thing, loophole thing I have to try to do. And then it goes to this HD PVR2 box. And when I load up the software, if I want to do voiceover, I can just move this microphone over here and make sure the microphone's on, start recording, play, and talk at the same time. So that's really the extent, to be honest with you, when I actually do a couple of those things, which I do plan on doing several Jaguar videos. But when it comes to the other systems I have here, I'm going to be honest with you, they are just collecting dust. And, apart from keeping several of my handheld systems I have, I'll be honest with you, the only systems I would keep in here is going to be the Dreamcast, the Sega Genesis, and probably the NES. And that's really because I don't really have time to play these anymore. They are collecting dust, and I just don't have time. Some people are going to be thinking, it's like, wait a minute, you can always try to make time. I know I can make time, but the times I do want to make time does not involve this. And that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that I guess when you just get older, maybe it's just the particular lifestyle that someone has in their life. But my lifestyle right now, 29-year-old single guy. Okay, my lifestyle is getting up, going to work, once a week, hang out with my friends, playing whatever games that everyone wants to play. So there's either board games, Magic the Gathering, or currently right now is playing Pathfinder, which apparently I'm a terrible, terrible paladin, but it's still fun. And I think when it comes, and I'm probably going to make a separate video about this, but the one thing that modern gamers are missing, honestly, is the human interaction in the same room. And I think as you get older, now I know a lot of the younger people today, that they're glued on their smartphones, things like that. And when they play games online, they have, so many friends, on Facebook, on Xbox Live, things like that. But I think as you get older, you start realizing, like, wait a minute, I want that actual real life human interaction face to face in the same room. And I think that holds true with most people out there. So when I'm saying I'm thinking about trimming the fat, I'm really talking about trimming down to stuff that I know I'm going to be making time for, and getting rid of stuff that I will not have time or may even make time to even play them. So that's really my video. And I'm not saying I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm not trying to get that impression out there. I'm still going to continue making videos. That's part of the enjoyment of. Actually, that was originally part of the enjoyment of these systems, is that, hey, look at this, and making a video about it, talking about it, putting it out there and getting people's reaction. That, to me, that's fun. I do have enjoyment out of that. But when it comes to essentially being done with it, they are just collecting dust now. And, originally, I was thinking about, set this up in a way that way I can use this like a backdrop, for making videos and things like that. I've been thinking, it's like, wait a minute. I tried to do that, and for some reason, it just did not work personally for me. And it just takes too much time personally for me. And so yeah, that's really the extent of this video. So let me know your thoughts about this. What are your thoughts on people trimming their collection down? Okay. Do you think it's more of a just a cop out? I was like, all right, I'm done with it. I don't have the space for it. And here's the thing though. Yes, even though I do live in a house, actually it's more of a condo. But, I own it. I live here. So, but if one day I ever do move, I got to lug all this stuff around. And there's only so much I can do. So, so let me know what you guys think. I mean, it will be interesting to know, quite frankly. Um, I've been experimenting with eBay for a while. Selling certain stuff, mainly gaming stuff. So like here's an example. I sold all this. As a lot, and someone paid me already. I just need to box it up, print the label, and ship it out. So I'm gonna have to do that on Monday. But when it comes to this other stuff here, I think the best advice I can give to people out there that are thinking about collecting not just games, but pretty much anything is have passion for it and collect stuff that has actual meaning for you. So here's a couple of things here. This stuff here has meaning to me. The HorrorClix Alien vs. Predator has meaning to me. I've always liked the Alien and Predator series. So that's why I like collecting those things. I've always liked stuffed animals. I also like games. So put the two together, you got stuff like this. But when it comes to older games, I'll be quite honest with you. There are other ways to play these older games. Either emulation, or if you do want the actual system itself, get the EverDrive. If a lot of the major systems, especially the cartridge-based systems, there is an EverDrive version for it. So like the NES, N64, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, things like that. There is an EverDrive version for it. So if you're looking into that route, quite frankly, quite honestly, I think that is probably the best way to go. You get the best of both worlds. You can play the games on the actual hardware, but without worrying about storing all those different games for that system. And especially now, especially with people trying to sell stuff on eBay, for a lot more than I think they are truly worth, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, just let me know down in the comments down below what are your guys' thoughts about this. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I'm even making this video, apart from me having this thought for a couple of months, but after watching TV and Les's video on essentially the same topic, trimming the fat off of your collection, what are your guys' thoughts about this? I'll be quite honest with you. Apart from playing the new games, from the current systems, when it comes to older systems, it's going to be the handheld systems. Once in a while, the Dreamcast, which is why I got that thing, and the Atari Jaguar down there, which has personal meaning towards me, which is why I heavily collect Jaguar stuff. But I don't really actively collect for other systems. I've played them, experienced the system, but apart from that, I'm pretty much done with it. But what are your thoughts? Leave those comments down below. If I get some flack for this, well, so be it. But, you know, it's just one of those things that part of the enjoyment, and I will add this too, part of the enjoyment of me acquiring most of the systems I got is going out and seeking it. So going out driving to places to get those systems. Okay. And, you know, that's how it originally started with the Jaguars. It was really the first system that I was actively going out and picking up the system and finding games for it. I mean, I'll give you this quick story here. So, I drove like an hour, hour and a half away to into a retro game shop. I brought the system in. You know, I was talking with the owners like, oh, hey, yeah, I actually do have a Jaguar console. And, you know, he wanted to see it. So I brought it in, hooked it up, and I think I had Tempest 2000 playing. And, you know, there's other people in there. It's like, what the hell is this? It's like, it's a Atari Jaguar. It's like, I didn't even heard of this. So that's part of the reason why I like enjoying collecting this system for, is because, yeah, it's not entirely a great system, but, you know, it to me, it has fond memories for a classic system. You know, it's one of these types of systems that I know that, you know, most people don't know about. You know, when most people think about Atari, they think about the 2600. When people talk about Nintendo, at least most of the retro collectors, you know, they primarily think about the NES and the Super Nintendo. Well, when you collect for a system like this, it's not exactly a common system. So when you do bring people over and they want to try out the system, it's like, holy crap, this is really, really different. And that's part of the enjoyment out of it is, you know, the actual experience out of it, you know, with other people. You know, most people, especially the older people, you know, they've experienced like the Saturn, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, the NES, you know, Xbox, PlayStation, you know, a lot of people experience those things. But when it comes to a lesser known system, you know, people are not too familiar with it. And it's just fun seeing those types of reaction when people play those games for the first time. So I know this video here is getting kind of long, but you know, I felt like maybe it was time to make a video like this and get your guys' thoughts and opinions about this. Let me know down in the comments down below. You know, like this video, share this, and if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button because I do actually make content for my channel. So there you go. So like always, have a good one.